Would like to welcome everyone to our December 23rd meeting. We'll call our meeting to order at this time. We will rise and have our invocation and then a pledge of allegiance led by Mr. Kelly, if we could. So at this time, I think it would be appropriate that we have a moment of silence for one of our county employees who passed away, Juan Carlos Salazar, over the weekend. And let's just, in our own hearts and minds, let's honor a moment of silence for him. Father, our hearts hurt for the Salazar family this morning. It is always a tragedy when we hear of one that has passed away at an early age, leaving a family behind. And so, Father, we come before you. We have questions. Obviously, no one has the answer, and maybe one day we will know. But at this time, we, as a county, we hurt, we have pain, and Father, we want to remember that we have our hope and our trust in you. So we thank you now for this time. Help us as we go about our business, but we do always remember the Salazar family. And thank you now for this time, in Jesus' name, amen.
Ready? Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, we will go to public comment. And this is an opportunity for members of the public to address the board on any subject matter within the board's jurisdiction, but not an item on the agenda. Any action taken as a result of public comment shall be limited to direction to staff. When addressing the board, state your name for the record prior to providing your comments. And please remember to follow the public comment code of conduct: no profanity, obscenity, yelling, screaming, no slander or defamatory statements, no personal threats, and etc. At this time, we'll see if we have, do we have public comment?
Chairman, we do have one speaker, Jake Tyson.
This is about the data center, the elephant in the room. So my name is Jake Tyson. I live in El Centro. I'm a business owner, and I'm a very concerned citizen. Members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to speak, like I did on the 18th, to the Planning Commission. This proposed data center is not a routine land use matter. It is a large-scale industrial facility with extraordinary demands on electricity, water, air quality, and emergency services. Proposed in a region already burdened by severe air pollution, water scarcity, and public health inequities. Granting ministerial or exemption treatment ignores the real world impacts of this project. The cumulative effects, a continuous operation of large natural gas generators, significant electrical draw from IID ratepayers, and water use in a drought-stressed agricultural valley are not speculative. They are foreseeable, measurable, and long-term. Environmental justice requires asking who bears the burden and who receives the benefit. In this case, the impacts fall on local residents, farmers, and ratepayers, while the benefits largely flow out of the valley, and probably even out of the state or even the country. That imbalance is precisely why CEQA exists, to require transparency, full disclosure, and informed decision-making before harm occurs. This community is not anti-technology. We are asking for due process, environmental review, and accountability. A full CEQA analysis is not a delay tactic. It is a legal safeguard to protect public health natural resources, and this board from its future liabilities. The question before you is not whether a data center can be built somewhere. The question is whether this project, this location, this developer, and at this time, under these conditions, meets the standards of responsible governance. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Mr. Tyson. Are there any others?
No more speakers, Chairman.
Okay. Before we go to board member announcements, Dr. Kay, do you have something you'd like to bring in?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And members of the board, I wanted to take an opportunity to provide an update on the class and compensation study that's being conducted by Gallagher on behalf of the county system. At the December 9th, 2025 board meeting, you all approved an extension to that agreement in order to finish the study and ensure that we had a complete scope of work available. So the executive office continues to work closely with Gallagher on that study, and I'm pleased to report that Gallagher has provided a draft report at this point in time, outlining the county's position in the labor market, updating the classification specifications, and a proposed revised salary structure. That draft is under review within our office, and I expect to receive the implementation plan soon with a couple of options to put before the board. In preparation for this, we are reconvening the work group that had met prior to my arrival here, and we will have a meeting set for January 28th of 2026 to share that and socialize it and get feedback from that work group. That work group includes representatives from every bargaining unit, as well as members of my office. So I'll keep the board informed as we move along, but I wanted to bring that update here before the board.
Thank you, Dr. Kay. Okay, we'll start with board member reports. Mr. Kelly, would you like to start us off?
Just Merry Christmas.
Okay. Ms. Price, would you like to go ahead with your comments?
Thank you, Chair. Not anything too exciting, other than for holiday spirit. I did attend a couple holiday events. One was a toy drive that was part of Los Vigilantes activities to gather toys to be distributed throughout the valley. I also attended a toy distribution with Cody's Closet in El Centro, and the 35th annual Abate 38 Los Niños toy run. We had that on Saturday as well. Quite a few participants and toys were gathered, and those are going to be distributed to the Betty Jo McNeese Receiving Home for children in care or at risk of being in care. I did want to give a shout out to all those that helped out, including our ambassador, Betty Jo McNeese herself. She was able to tend for a short while. Oh, there's a couple pictures, yes. So it was a very successful event. Again, 35 years this has been going on in Imperial County, officially with the Abate 38 group, which is an advocacy group statewide that advocates for motorcycle rights. We had people from Yuma, San Diego, and other areas. Coin Motorsports hosted the breakfast and the registration area for the riders. Los Vigilantes donated quite a bit of toys from their toy drive. Bobby's Territorial, Yuma, Harley Davidson, Site Logic, Alfred Distributing, Betty Jo McNeese staff. I really want to thank them because the place was decorated very nicely for the children, but they also did a nice job decorating for the riders. So it was a very nice welcoming for them. The Imperial Valley Children's Coalition was there. They had refreshments. They were wonderful greeters for all the riders who are very respectful and Really appreciate this sort of community involvement for our kids in care. The Calvary Chapel provided lunch for the riders at the end of the event. Imperial County Fire Department participated. El Centro Police Department were our escorts, so they got the riders safely from Coyne Motorsports out on the road and then back down to Betty Jo McNeese Receiving Home. Ed Aranda from Bait 38 and Rocio Green and Melanie Lira were volunteers that helped me coordinate the event, so I just wanted to give them a big thank you. It was a successful event. Again, social services staff, and I hope that they reach out to probation as well. We like to help the kids that are there in your care as well. So it was a successful event, and I was glad to participate again. We also just want to bring a memorial to the late Bob Brown, who was a former employee also of the county, who used to coordinate this event, him and his wife Alicia Brown, who also worked for the county for a number of years. They've since retired, and I just was asked to help out since I was one of the founding members of Bait 38 here in Imperial County 35 years ago, or maybe it's been longer. And Fred Bryant, who is also a former employee who passed this past year as well. So they were regulars to this event, very supportive, attended every meeting throughout the year, and so just wanted to acknowledge that for them as well. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Escobar.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to congratulate really quickly outgoing Mayor Diana Noricumbo from the City of Calexico and incoming Mayor Victor Legaspi for the City of Calexico. Look forward to working with Victor in this 2026. And also want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Whenever you're having that steak or that ribeye roast or those tamales and frijoles, ham, or whatever, pick your poison. There's a lot of people out there that are not enjoying the festivities the way we do. We should be very thankful of what we have. We should be very thankful for our health. I think this is the worst time of the year to be unhealthy, and this is the worst time of the year to, unfortunately, have somebody pass away. I had the unfortunate pleasure of having the burial service for my father December 22nd, 1999. So this time of year is always nostalgic because my dad didn't make it to year 2K, so I always have that memory. So we should always be very thankful for what we have instead of pushing for what we don't have or what we want. With that, I appreciate all of you and look forward to working with all of you in 2026. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Jesus. Director Cardenas-Singh.
Yes, thank you. It was a great week for Heber last week. We had the opportunity to celebrate the grand opening of the Miraluz Apartments. It's a 63-unit affordable housing community in Heber for families and farm workers. And there are also identified apartments for individuals with disabilities. Miraluz Apartments represents new beginnings, new stability, and new opportunities for affordable housing. Hardworking families deserve a safe, affordable, and high-quality homes, and that's exactly what Miraluz provides. A project like this required dedication, a vision, and I want to thank the Chelsea Investment Corporation for their leadership, as well as our state and federal partners for supporting the needs of Imperial County. Their collaboration helped bring real solutions to families who live and work here. I'm proud that this opportunity will not only offer housing, but also services and programs that support education, health, and family well-being. These resources will make a meaningful difference in the daily life of residents. To the future residents of Miraluz, this community was built with care and with commitment to your success. So that's a great win here for Heber. In addition to that, I had the opportunity on December the 4th to attend the annual Farm Workers Breakfast. It's a local tradition that allows us to celebrate hardworking individuals who work in agriculture. It takes place from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. With an opportunity to have a delicious breakfast, but most importantly, gives an opportunity where we have resource tables that are being provided in all aspects, from healthcare to all the resources that are provided here in Imperial County. So very proud that the county supports this effort, and most importantly, taking the opportunity to thank the many individuals who put food on our table. That's the end of my report.
Okay. Thank you, Martha. Yes, Faye.
I had a conflict on Saturday with several events, and I did want to thank Miss Marilyn for helping out the Sealy Community Advisory Committee with their toy distribution, and I'd also like to thank the Imperial County Fire Department who were there to assist at the cooling center. So, and I know that there were some families, if they're still in need, they've been encouraged to reach out to the advisory committee if they're still in need of some gifts out there in the area. So thank you again.
Okay. Thank you, Peggy. Christmas is a special time of year, and I know that we all enjoy it very much. Again, our condolences to the Salazar family, and Juan Carlos worked in animal control, so that probably helps you kind of identify who he was. Again, our condolences for him, and may we appreciate and love our families this Christmas. So God bless you, and thank you for them. Okay, at this time we'll go to item 10, discussion of the agenda. Items to be pulled for the action, discussion, consent, and consented budget. Are there any items?
Chairman,
Yes.
Supervisor Cardenas-Singh wanted to speak.
Yes, I would like to please pull item 24 on the agenda and to put it on, to move it from consent to our action agenda, please.
Okay. And there is a motion by Supervisor Singh, a second by Supervisor Escobar. Please vote. Okay, motion carries. Item B, urgency items to be added.
None, Chairman.
Approval of the order of agenda. We have a motion by Supervisor Escobar and a second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. Okay, motion carries. Item 11, approval of the consent calendar. Motion by Supervisor Escobar and a second by Supervisor Kelly. Please vote. Motion carries. Item 12, approval of the consent budget. Motion by Supervisor Kelly, a second by Supervisor Escobar. Please vote. Motion carries. Item 13, approval of the official proceedings for December 16th, 2025. Motion by Supervisor Escobar and second by Supervisor Price. Please vote. And motion carries. At this time, we will go to department announcements.
Chairman, we have Ms. Suzanne Bermudez from the Treasurer Tax Collector.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just wanted to give you just a little tidbit of information. I'm sure everybody's seen it on the internet about the discontinuation of the 1-cent coin. As you may be aware, the federal government has announced its intention to discontinue the production and circulation of the 1-cent coin, penny. In response, our office is currently reviewing the potential impacts that this may change to any county operations, including cash handling processes, fee collection requirements, statutory obligations, and point-of-sale systems. At this time, no changes to procedures are required, and my office will continue to actively assess the situation and will provide further recommendations once federal and state guidance has become clearer. In the interim, departments may find it helpful to retain pennies received during daily cash collections when feasible. While this is not a required action, it may assist with making exact change and help minimize short-term operational challenges during the transition period. If your department anticipates a need to increase its change fund to accommodate the suggestion, please coordinate with our Auditor Controller's office. Our office will continue to make every effort to provide pennies as inventory allows. We haven't seen any disruption to service as of right now, but I know that people are actually hoarding pennies as we speak, and they have been for years. So I suspect within the next year and a half, that actually will take place. Please accept and process deposits containing pennies as usual. Note that the availability of pennies will gradually decline. As we prepare for this transition, I'm encouraging all departments to begin considering the following: identifying the most suitable approach for your business operations, which each department is so unique, communicating any changes to customers, particularly those involving rounding of cash transactions when it becomes necessary, preparing employees to respond to customer inquiries in order to ensure smooth transition, encouraging customers to use cashless payment options when possible, and making sure that you understand the accounting and tracking implications for cash versus electronic payments. Reviewing software capabilities that may require modifications to account for short or over transactions, which I can share with you that Megabyte, our property tax payment program, is already working to transition us to be allowed to cashier something over the counter with cash that will account for a shortage or an overage with pennies. Review guidance from state and local governments regarding sales tax collection and reporting in a penny-free environment. I anticipate providing additional guidance after the new year, and if any department has any questions or they'd like to share any operational considerations with me so that we can evaluate the next steps, I encourage them to reach out to me. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Supervisor Kelly. Hang on just a second.
Ms. Marinas, so you mentioned about the rounding. So our own internal, you're already reviewing how we would deal with it. But those that are submitting payments either through TOT or through any other tax levy, they are also being required to either to go to the nickel or the next 10 cent?
I've seen direction that other counties are providing to their departments, and it's very specific. If it's a penny or 2 pennies, you're rounding down. If it's 3 pennies or 4 pennies, you're rounding up. You know, it just varies from department to department. What fee people actually may be changing their fees because of it, in order to account for that, to ensure that they are going to a nickel. You know, but what's next? The nickel, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
are you collecting pennies
We are collecting pennies.
personally?
Personally, yes.
'Cause I
Have
am
been for
too.
some time.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
But I'm not a hoarder.
Okay. Supervisor Price.
Thank you, Chair. I had some of the same question around rounding, whether it would round up, round down, and then are we structuring fees and things like that to exclude the penny? Say, for example, you have a tax rate, it is X amount, and are we ourselves, before we request payment on a fee, rounding up or down for the consumer, or is that something that will happen?
I anticipate and I can only speak for my department, that we will do the rounding. I don't know how other departments are going to handle it. Like I said, Megabyte is specifically, and I'm sure the other software providers are working on this already. They're factoring in the accountability and being able to say, okay, well, if it's 4 cents, then we're going to round up to the nickel. If it's 2 cents, we're going to round down to 0. You know, but I'm sure that they are working on it. Where they are in that process and how quickly they're going to get there, I couldn't tell you. But Megabyte, we actually worked with them, I want to say about 6 months ago. And in my department head meeting that I went to last month, they assured us that everything will be in place by the beginning of the year. I mean, most people are, for us, are paying with checks. If you're paying with a check, if you're paying with a credit card transaction, it's really not any kind of an issue. It's specifically and only with cash transactions. Yeah. And retailers, like, I have no idea what they're going to be doing because it very well likely could affect sales tax and their reporting requirements that they have.
Right, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that report and keeping us updated.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Suzanne. Appreciate that.
Thank-
Are there other departments?
Yes, Chairman, I have Ms. Barry Bean from the Executive Office.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the board. I want to provide a brief update on Lithium Valley. As many of you know, we've been working on this initiative for over 3 years here at the county, and this is an opportunity in the north end of our community to develop a lithium and geothermal-based vertical integrated supply chain. We're excited to share that as of next week on December 30th, we will be releasing the draft programmatic environmental impact report and the revised Lithium Valley specific plan. And we want to share information about the public comment process because it is important that people understand how they can engage in this process and what the time frame will be. So the formal public review period for the draft programmatic environmental impact report, the revised Lithium Valley specific plan, the general plan, and zoning ordinance map amendments will be from December 30th, 2025 to March 2nd, 2026, a 60-day period. And that will close at 5 p.m. Any comments must be received by that 5 p.m. deadline. Comments will be accepted through the following channels: by mail, and you can see the address on the screen. It is our Imperial County Planning and Development Services Department. Also by email at publiccomment@co.imperial.ca.us. And we're asking that all comments have clearly identified in the subject line as LVSP 2025. Any mailed or emailed submissions to either that email address or to the mailing address or dropped off in person at that mailing address will be accepted and will be responded to as part of this comment period. We want to be really clear that any messages that are sent to any other places, any other email addresses, directly to supervisors, to any departments, to any individuals will not be considered part of the public record and will not be responded to. We'll continue to share this message moving forward in supervisor meetings for the next couple of weeks to make sure that people are clear of the process. We also have a press release that has gone out, and we'll be putting it on our website as well. Next week, December 30th, when we do share the official notice of availability, we'll also share access to where people can find those documents, and we'll again talk about the comment process. I welcome any questions.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Thank you, Barry. Appreciate that.
No more reports, Chairman.
Okay. So we will now go to our action calendar. Item 15, discussion action regarding adopting resolution for granting December 26th as a county paid holiday for calendar year 2025. Open that for discussion. We have a motion by Supervisor Kelly and a second by Supervisor Cardenas-Singh. Any discussion? Comment? Peggy?
Just to our direction to our CEOs, our executive office, to communicate with all the departments regarding the holiday.
We'll get that done immediately.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion by Supervisor Kelly, second by Supervisor Cardenas-Singh. Please vote. That seems painless, and that is a 5-0 vote. So we are glad to extend that day for your families and the Christmas holiday. Yes.
And on behalf of county staff, I'm sure we will have a heartfelt thank you to the board for this.
Okay, we'll go to item 24.
Thank you, Chair. Chair and members of the board, I thought it would be a good idea to bring you some discussion detail on my request to adopt a resolution authorizing the hiring of the Assistant County Executive Officer at Step E. So step E, the salary is $191,000 annually. And although that is within the 463 range, it is above the typical entry level. Given the strategic importance of this role and the exceptional qualifications of the selected candidate, my recommendation supports both operational stability and long-term organizational performance. Few reasons for this. First of all, the Assistant County Executive Officer is an essential leadership position within the County Executive Office. This position is responsible for county-wide strategic planning, including policy and administration, reviewing and analyzing legislation, oversight of assigned departments, coordinating county-wide operations, and ensuring interdepartmental alignment. Secondly, the candidate that has been selected, I recommend that because they bring forth qualifications that significantly exceed the standard expectations for this role. They hold advanced graduate degrees that provide a high level of policy and analytical expertise, proven record of improving operational efficiencies, strengthening governance and structures, and delivering measurable outcomes. This is a candidate who can step in immediately and operate at a high level from day one. Third, this recommendation is based on the candidate's strong performance and proven ability to take on expanded responsibilities, allowing the executive office the opportunity to increase support without hiring additional personnel. I want to emphasize that this recommendation represents a net zero impact on the annual budget. Through salary savings and internal realignments, I can accommodate this adjustment without increasing overall expenditure. This ensures I am making a strategic investment in leadership while maintaining full fiscal responsibility. I want to directly acknowledge potential concerns from our labor partners regarding this recommendation. There are two thoughts here. First, as mentioned earlier, we're working to schedule a meeting with Gallagher for the Class and Compensation Work Group, which has now been set for January 28th. I'll continue to engage with labor partners in good faith, both for the class and comp, as well as for a full understanding as to the rationale behind this Assistant County Executive Officer recommendation and how it aligns with our shared goals, how it encourages stability, fairness, and high-quality public service. Secondly, it is important to recognize that our unions consistently emphasize the importance of meaningful promotional opportunities for their members. This action reflects a shared goal. Strong leadership at the executive level creates stability, strengthens departments, and ultimately opens pathways for internal advancement. Investing in high-caliber leadership supports a healthy organizational structure where employees can grow, develop, and move up over time. I would like to note that since I took my seat end of June this year, there have been 4 staffing changes within the County Executive Office. The Deputy CEO Communications filled a vacant funded position, adding the title Communications to Deputy CEO. That person was promoted from within. The prior position was not backfilled, which equals salary savings. Deputy CEO Economic Development, a position formerly held by people that many of you know, Esperanza Colio Warren. That position had remained vacant and funded. The promotion came from within the county organization, again providing an opportunity for that promotion. On January the 9th, we'll have an administrative analyst fill a vacant funded position. That promotion comes from within the county organization. This position in front of you today for the Assistant CEO, pending approval, is formerly held by Rebecca Terrazas-Baxter. That position has been vacant and funded since her exit in July of this year. This promotion, if approved by the board, comes from within the executive office, and that position will not be backfilled, again resulting in salary savings. Finally, hiring this candidate at Step E is an investment that will yield both immediate and long-term value. Their expertise will accelerate progress on board priorities, enhance internal systems, and improve county-wide service delivery. So in closing, Step E ensures that I secure a highly qualified, experienced leader who will strengthen the county executive office and support the board's priorities from day one. This is a strategic and responsible investment in the county's future, and I thank you for your consideration.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Kate.
Chairman, we do have two speakers. First speaker is Ms. Ruth Duarte.
Good morning, Chair, members of the board, and staff, and the community. My name is Ruth Duarte. I'm representative for Teamsters Local 542, representing 1,200 plus employees in the County of Imperial. I requested for this item to be pulled for the reasons that are very concerning regarding the fiscal year budget 25-26. County Executive Office Budget Fund 1002001, and the growing net county costs driven largely by executive compensation. The adopted fiscal year 25-26 budget for the County Executive Office reflects total expenses of $2.37 million with revenues of only $92,000. Resulting in a net cost of $2.28 million. This represents a significant increase from prior years, rising from approximately $1.6 million in fiscal year 24-25 to $2.28 million in fiscal year 25-26. A major contributing factor to this increase is executive compensations. The current executive officer total compensation is approximately $426,840 compared to approximately $228,000 for the prior CEO, an increase of nearly $200,000. In addition, the county executive office includes multiple deputy CEO positions, each with base salaries exceeding $114,000 to $138,000 prior to increases that Ms. Kathleen Lang has recommended. The assistant county executive officer position, while currently vacant, represents an additional potential cost of approximately $152,000 annually if filled. While I understand the importance of effective leadership, these increases are occurring at a time when department revenue have declined sharply and more of the cost burden is being shifted to the general fund. Given current budgetary constraints across departments, it is appropriate for the board to fully discuss whether the level of executive staffing and compensation is sustainable and aligned with the county's broader fiscal priorities. Now, we have a very important position that needs to be filled according to the MOUs. When employees file a grievance or a complaint, it goes to the Department of Human Resources, which has remained vacant. Maybe money is being shifted to the CEO's office, I don't know. But that should have been one of the main priorities of the CEO to fill in before any other assistant deputy CEO or any deputy CEO positions.
Ms. Duarte.
It is well needed. I'm sorry, Mr. Hawk, but I believe this is an action item. It is not in public comments for the 3 minutes. I am requesting an extension because I was being attacked by Ms. Kathleen Lang on her presentation for this item. And I want to clarify some things.
Can you wrap it up?
Yes.
Okay.
So I am requesting that importance be taken for the HR position. We know that the current employee cannot come back to that particular position and should be fulfilled. There's an MOU stating steps of discipline, and it has to be fulfilled. Another thing is, I'm happy to say that we will be having a meeting for the salary and compensation, but it's been pushed to January 28th. We're not even on December 28th, and it's already been pushed another month. I understand the extension of the gallery compensation. I understand it's in great detail. It's a big monster to attack, and I'm glad they're working on it. But we need that meeting to be earlier than January 28th. Why? Because if there's a draft already, the committee should have known about it. I heard a rumor that department has had a meeting regarding that. I don't know, it's just a rumor, but you know, bad news gets around a lot faster than good news. So in that sense, Ms. Rebecca Terrazas was making a lot less than $191,000 in compensation, and therefore I, would like for you guys either to table this item for another day or have a no vote. I would say a 3-2, but I don't know.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Duarte.
you. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Chairman, next speaker is Ms. Maria Solano.
Good afternoon, everybody, board members and public, of course, our county employees that are watching us at this point. I sent you guys an email earlier today, and thank you, Mrs. Singh, for responding. I emulate whatever Ruth said because, yes, indeed, as a compensation study committee members, I think we should be, Ms. Lang, provided with an update sooner than the 20-something. But once again, that's up to you guys to decide whether you guys want to provide it to us or not. But once again, we're part of the committee, and we would like to be part of the transparency that we're supposed to be having. Anyhow, in regards to my email, I sent you guys an email, but I don't want to read that email. I want to make sure that you guys, I was CC'd in an email that was kind of upsetting because once again, I stated in my email, it's disappointing once again to come to see that these things are not going through as we feel. As county employees, as the constituent, these things are difficult to understand and comprehend. I don't have a master's degree. I don't. But I'm not dumb, and I'm sorry, but the things that I do understand, I make sure I make them clear. Now, there's this young lady that states in the email I was CC'd that she's done scheduling and rescheduling for a position because they can't fill it because the pay is too low. Yet we have these higher positions that are being paid $30,000, $40,000 more a year. And these are coming from the general fund as well. It's people that's actually doing the hard work. So where is our fairness? They're not asking, we didn't ask for a 50% raise, a 30% raise. We asked for a 5%. We got a mere 3%. Okay, we have the compensation study. Why don't we wait till then to give the raise to this individual? Let's be fair. Fair for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Solano.
Suzanne.
Good afternoon, honorable members of the board. I'm compelled to express my strong opposition to the proposed salary increase for a county employee currently serving at a range 401 step C with an hourly rate of $60.82 an hour, who's being considered for a promotion to range 463 step B, a move that would result in a staggering 51% increase in salary. A promotion to range 463A would already provide a salary increase of 24%, which is well above the minimum 5% that's stipulated by county ordinance. This step would be consistent with the guidelines that all other county employees are expected to follow when seeking promotion under the codified ordinance section 3.12.070. Approving this action without transparency or adherence to established policy sends a troubling message to county employees. It echoes the sentiment felt in May of 2023 when the reclassification of the clerk of the board position led to a 2-day employee walkout. That event prompted this board to authorize a class and compensation study an initiative that remains to this day incomplete and has yet to address the wage disparities that persist across county departments. If this raise is approved today, it will reinforce the perception that the proximity to this very board chamber, not merit, not policy or equity, determines who receives preferential treatment. Such actions undermine employee morale, erode trust in leadership, and compromise the integrity of our compensation system. I urge the board to uphold the principles of fairness, transparency, and adherence to County Ordinance Section 3.12.070 and grant only an established minimum at Step A. Let us not repeat the mistakes of the past, but instead demonstrate our commitment to equitable treatment of all county employees.
Thank you, Suzanne. Supervisor Singh.
Yes, thank you. I support filling the Assistant County Executive Officer position. This has been vacant for the past 6 months. This position was hired at a Step A and vacated at a Step B. And I understand there is salary savings for this year, and this year only. I'm looking at the long-term fiscal impacts. I do not support starting the position at a salary Step E. Although in my view, beginning employment at the second highest step should be reserved for exceptional circumstances and guided by clearly defined criteria. It's important to maintain consistency within our salary framework, and my fiduciary responsibility also guides this position. I believe starting at steps below the maximum is more appropriate. It aligns with our compensation structure and helps maintain internal equity. In addition to that, although I did hear a brief job description and duties that were going to be included for this position and for this candidate, it is no different than the job description that was required for the person in that position prior. There's been no change to the job description for the Assistant County Executive Officer. That is the end of my comments.
Okay, are there additional comments? Oh, okay. Supervisor Escobar, sorry.
Whenever we talk about pay increases, and it's important that we not only treat the candidate fairly based on his or her merits, but also treat the general family, in this case, the 2,300 employees, fairly. And it's a very hard compromise to get a viable candidate within a specific spectrum when you have a limited budget and a archaic compensation assessment of our county employees, our county job responsibilities, et cetera. So it is a very challenging position when, on the one hand, the candidate may or may not possess those specific leadership skills required to be the second in command, and at the same time be fair and equitable to the 2,300 employees. Having said that, anytime we have double-digit increases, and I speak from experience when I say this, it raises hell. And we need to be very careful in raising hell once again. And I think we need to be very diligent in how we raise and why we raise hell moving forward, because I think the county has enough issues to deal with to have an additional issue moving forward. I think we need to be very cautious. We need to be very respectful of the candidate and the talents the candidate brings to the table. But again, we need to be equitable in how we assess those abilities compared to the other individuals that have yet to see an actual compensation assessment, a review of their job responsibilities, and an overall adjustment to their pay scale. So I think we need to be very careful moving forward when it comes to these type of responsibilities and these type of actions as a board. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Escobar. Supervisor Price.
Yes, I have some questions on policy and ordinance for our council. Were all of those followed, the proper steps followed in this item?
Yes, those were followed, and the last step to allow this would be for the approval of this resolution.
Thank you.
Supervisor Kelly.
I've heard the arguments by the Teamsters representative and also by our treasurer tax collector. I'll address both of them. In regards to what you've brought in regards to the action proposed today, asking us to take it tabled or to deny this, I hear you, and I understand the optics and what we are trying to do. In regards to the treasurer tax collector, that you're giving us percentages of cost and the increase of compensation. This is not the same thing as what happened with the clerk of the board, because in that instance, that position was serving for a board of supervisors and agendas and coordination of functions. This assistant CEO is an executive that would be hopefully bringing additional revenue into this county, which I think is important to you as well, and is also important to the membership of the Teamsters. For us to be able to do the things that we want to do, including an implementation of a salary and compensation study that has meaning to everybody that works here, we need to have the right people, and we need to make the investment in people that will bring those tools back into this county. And I don't mean just tools, I mean revenue. We've heard lots of arguments about why we shouldn't be able to do this item, or why we shouldn't be able to do this item, why we can't develop here, why we can't do this. Does anybody ever come to this assembly and say why we can do something? Does anybody ever bring a positive outlook into this chamber and bring maybe hope and belief into the things that we can achieve? Because all I hear is mostly, no, we can't do that. No, we shouldn't do that. No, you shouldn't even talk about it. I say that I am conscious of what you've risen in concern, but I believe that we are trying to make the best foot forward. And in comparison, Ms. Singh, of the previous assistant CEO or the previous management, Ms. Duarte, I put no comparison into those and those that are in place today. And that your evaluation of the compensation was incomplete for the salary package and full compensation of the former executive officer. So I tell you that I'm willing to make the investment because I believe that it will be bringing new revenues to this county that will be able to help every employee that works here. And I'm trying to bring it to the point where the salary and compensation actually has real meaning to the people that are on the bottom echelon and less so to those that are on the top echelon.
Okay. Yes, Ms. Singh.
I would just like to address a couple of the topics that were shared here by Mr. Kelly. So I agree. If we're going to bring on a new assistant county executive officer, and if the goal is for that candidate to bring in revenue, then it should be like every other employee. They'll just put on her evaluation or that person's evaluation with very set goals, and at the end of the probationary period and the evaluation period, if they met that requirement and have met the goals, then we go ahead and take a look at the merit. Like every other employee who has to go through the evaluation process and then has to earn that merit as they work their way through the steps. That is a uniform process that takes place with every employee.
Okay, I'll make a few comments. We've all heard the comment that a rising tide lifts all boats. And I'm aware of a company that I work with that we hired an individual that was had a certain technical skills, and it was unbelievable how the company began to prosper because of the hiring of that individual. And so while I understand, and I definitely voted against the clerk of the board's raise 2 years ago, I understand when we move to an area of technology, we look at the fact that our county is in a precarious situation. You know, I don't have to bring up the loss of Spreckles and all the other issues, but I do look at Lithium Valley. I do look at issues in our county that can bring new opportunities. And so I am aware of the cost. I'm aware of the seeming disparity. I'm aware of a number of things, but I'm also aware that this rising tide is going to lift all boats. So I don't look at necessarily the revenue side of it, but I do look at the opportunity. And when this company hired a young man that came out of a technical background, it was amazing how that company turned around. And I know that because that's my company. And I saw the merits of what this young person did, the ideas, the implementation, and I say it raised the standards of our entire company. So that's what I see with this decision today. And with that, I will make a motion to approve. Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Price?
Thank you. I do want to address something that was brought up in terms of the positions that need to be filled, and that is why we're here today. We have had some trouble filling positions, including our HR director, which we are still in the process of filling that position. It is a key position that needs to be filled, Ms. Duarte, so I value your statement and your point about that. And this is a position as well that, looking at the qualifications and the direction that we want to take our county, we need to increase our tax base, we need to increase our economic development. We are looking at qualifications of staff that are applying and how they can move us forward in that direction so that we can implement various things that will benefit our communities and our staff. So I do appreciate the discussion. I do appreciate the comments that we've received on this item. And I just want to say that it has been difficult, and we do want to bring our county to a level where we can provide the services that we need and that our community deserves. So just want to say that I did appreciate those comments.
Mr. Chair, can I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Mr. Kelly, I appreciate your comment about bringing in money into the county, and yes, I agree with you on that. What I see is something that is happening that like happened with solar, with windmills, and now with lithium. We're in the middle of a lawsuit that can't move the project forward. Mrs. Smith has said time and time again that we're losing money in lithium. And I agree with her. There was $10 million in the budget, and now I see 1.9 million. I don't know where that money went. We are losing money. We're losing it to the lawsuits, and we're losing it to positions that are not moving forward. I do want revenues to come in, but let's do it the right way. not by hiring high salary staff and not seeing any outcome until the future, the unknown future.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Mr. Kelly?
Thank you for the counter time.
Okay.
So, Mr. Duarte, there has not been a loss of the $10 million that was awarded to us to promote and continue the development of Lithium Valley. It is all there, and that if you're looking at something, we can give you an explanation of where the money is and how it's been allocated. The state of California has seen a spending plan that has detail of all the allocations, and they've been approved by the state of California. In addition,
I see a budget with no money.
yeah, no, we can share exactly where this is. This is probably a misconception, and we can clear it up very, very easily. Secondly, I'd like to also offer you more information that, yes, there is a lawsuit against one of the projects that was approved in January of 2024. And it lost and was denied and dismissed by the Superior Court of Imperial County in January of 2025. It has been appealed by the plaintiffs in March of 2025. And at this moment, and as counsel has advised us today, the appellate court has still not scheduled a hearing date after 9 months of being in their court. So, no, that action that is happening between the plaintiffs, Comite, and Earthworks is not hindering development, but it is not something that development likes to look at, especially venture capitalists, financial institutions, or other investment opportunities to see that there's ongoing litigation in this environment. But that does not hold back, and the CTR project seems to be gathering more momentum and is now it's getting close to Christmas. My kids call me now. The CTR project is gaining momentum. It has now new backing and associations, and as well as Energy Source Minerals and Berkshire Hathaway, as well as others. So the future is bright, but what is our opportunity? Do we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot? Do we continue to find a way to trip ourselves before we can get to the finish line? I ask all of you in attendance, do you all want, no, my time, hold on. All of you in attendance, you can be passive and quiet and sit back and just say, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. Or you can be part of it and try and help make this happen, because there's only a certain amount of time that we will have a chance, right? Things change, and they change on a dime. Policy changes. White Houses change. Governor's offices change. And direction gets reallocated in another direction. I can tell you that the 5 people up here are trying to make it something that all of our children will have an opportunity in the future. And it may not be something that I'm here to be able to, have a ribbon cutting on, or it may not be one where we all get to have some kind of a song and dance routine, but it's going to happen, and we're putting our best foot forward to make that happen. So all the county employees that are listening, it's a golden opportunity for us to make a difference. And it's not just for those that are working today, but those that are going to be working tomorrow, because we've got more and more pressures. And from when I was a kid to today, we haven't made great strides of any kind to help this economy. And that's what we're trying to do today. And I believe this is part of that measure.
Thank you, Chair. We have department heads, we have various positions that need to be reevaluated, which are being done through the compensation study that's being completed. There's definitely disparities there, I see, of several positions. And those do need to be addressed, so I appreciate those comments. There's also an applicant that has the qualifications, far exceeded the qualifications, has worked hard. It's apparent in the application to gain the education and experience to do a job such as the assistant and with various industries that will help our community. We do want to support local talent. We want to support members of our community that have gone away to school, gone away to learn various aspects of economic development in different industries, and are making an investment back at home, even when there's better opportunities in other places or other companies within the county outside of the county of Imperial as an employer. We want those members of our community to have those opportunities. We want our kids to gain the experience, whether it's local or going away, and then bringing that talent and education back to our community. And so I just wanted to make those comments so you know where I sit and why I will make the decision that I do today. And I heard all the comments, and I agree. We definitely need to do something for all of our employees. But I just wanted to make those comments so you know where I'm coming from. Thank you.
Okay, Supervisor Singh.
I think we need to come back to the principle of what's before us. And before us is, we're taking a look at item 24. I think of all the employees that work hard every day in the position that they have. They do the best that they can and really make a difference here in our community when we talk about serving the public. If a position should require any type of specialty or working above and beyond or taking on additional responsibilities, we take a look at giving them a 5% stipend, never 3 steps ahead of what we normally provide. That's the end of my comment. Call for the vote, please.
Chairman, I do have one more public speaker. Valeria Mejia.
Good morning, Board. My name is Valeria Mejia, and as you can see, I am a county employee. I'm a lifelong public servant, and I'm really proud of it. I'm here to strongly oppose, the assistant CEO position starting at range E. It's pretty silly. Like I said, I'm a career public servant. I'm a person who came to Imperial County and started at my level, at a level 1, step A. I was also overqualified, not just with my experience and the time I actually had, but with my licensing that's needed for my type of career. Typically, when you promote within county, it's, if you're at a whole different range, what is it, like a minimum of 5%? So yeah, this is pretty silly. If we go all the way across the board, we got, like $1 million in salary and benefits. You guys haven't released the wage and compensation study. I'm really grateful for Ms. Duarte, Ms. Solano, and of course, Ms. Bermudez. These aren't just figures. Yeah, you guys keep recirculating to lithium and solar and other things and our opportunities for development. Cool. How does that work out for us? It doesn't. We, get some jobs while things develop, and that's it. I came down to the Planning Commission to oppose the Wisteria Solar Extension in March. I came to that hearing in September. My chairman of the board was nowhere to be found. My supervisor, Ms. Singh, wasn't here. It was really unfortunate because I didn't feel like I could be heard. I didn't feel like it really mattered what I said, and that's what we're seeing, not just with that, with data, now with wages. So I'm really tired of it. You guys keep talking about filling positions and how we can't recruit and retain people. Yeah, people are getting pissed off. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people that came here, that worked here, that had an interest, a very, unique interest, but, you know, it shaped who I was, it shaped what I did, shaped what I studied, and I worked really, really hard for this county position. I had the opportunity to work at 2 other counties on top of being a federal employee before, but I chose to come back to Imperial County to serve my community, to make it better, to have faith in my board that when I had an issue, even if I was nobody schnobody in the middle of nowhere, but when I come out here and I tell you, hey, I got an issue with solar, that you guys would do something. You know, Jim Minnick launched an investigation over some of the great points I made. Wonderful. Here we are again with data. Here we are again with wages, and you guys are willing to hear everybody, but you still want to push your agenda. Like Ms. Bermudez says, it seems like the proximity to this office is always what really matters, and that's what I felt with Imperial County. I was scared to work here because I heard everything's who you know, everything's who you rub elbows with. Well, I'm nobody. I rub elbows with nobody. Now that I do my job, yeah, I might know some fancy names here and there. I'm not their buddy. I still do my job. So I'm asking you to do yours. You know, Ryan, you talked very cavalier about Teamsters. You know, hey, you're a public servant. If you can't do your job when they were, you know, doing their practice, strikes, move aside. Well, I'm here to remind you, you're a public servant too. I'm here to remind you that you chose to be here. You chose to go and put your little posters and ask for people to vote for you. So when we come and ask you to do something or not do something, listen to those people. Because, yeah, you're going to have a hard time not just filling and retaining people, even Joe Schmoes like me. Because, yeah, it's embarrassing sometimes to work for Imperial County, and it's really saddening to say that because, again, I'm proud of where I'm from. I'm proud of going and studying out of state. I'm proud of, you know, going all over the state of California. I had the opportunity to also go to University of Hawaii, Manoa, and I chose to come back to Cal Poly. I chose to come back to Imperial County, always to serve Imperial County. So I'm asking you to do the same. This is silly. I don't want this. We have money issues all the time. We don't have money issues when it comes to deputy CEO positions, to our actual CEO, to our assistant CEO, to anybody in those positions. But when it comes to Teamsters, and I'm not even Teamster, and they're making $17 freaking an hour, you don't hear them. You tell them to step aside. That's crummy. Do better. Be better. So whoever this person is, great. I hope that we're not just focusing on the compensation package. I hope you're also focusing on who this person is. How were they selected? Was it competitive or not? Or is it, hey, they work in proximity to your office and we're just going to move them along? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Mejia. All right. At this time, we have a motion on the floor. If there's no other discussion, I'm going to ask this board to please vote. We have a motion by myself and a second by Mr. Kelly. Please vote. Motion carries 3-2. Are there any other items, Madam Clerk? No other items?
None, Chairman.
Okay. Do you need to report out?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair Hawk. Today, the board met in closed session to discuss those items listed on the closed session agenda on page 2 of the agenda. The board received information and provided direction. However, no final action was taken. This concludes my report.
Okay.
Chairman, it is 2:17 p.m. Meeting adjourned.